Hi everyone, my name is Katie Tooley and today I will be presenting on the red howler monkey, or its scientific name, Alouatta seniculus. Starting with the taxonomy, we can see it's from the kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Primates, family Atelidae, and genus Alouatta. Next, we can look at the geographic distribution. It is most widespread in Colombia, which is why it's often called the Colombian howler monkey, but it also stretches into Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, Venezuela, and Trinidad and Tobago, which is in that top right area at the top. It's part of the Caribbean islands. Moving on to the habitat, they are arboreal and terrestrial, meaning that they climb in the trees, but they also go down to the forest floor. They live in two kinds of habitats, forests and the savanna. When you look at the forests, they are found in primary lowland forest, dry deciduous forest, Andean cloud forest, gallery forest in the eastern plains of Colombia, mangrove swamp, and in Varzea forest, according to the IUCN Red List. When found in the savanna, it's usually in a moist area. Moving on to physical description, we can see that there's a slight bit of sexual dimorphism. The males weigh 13.2 to 16.8 pounds with a head and body length of 20.6 to 22.4 inches, whereas females weigh 9.9 to 13.9 pounds with a head and body length of 18.4 to 19.6 inches. They both have very long tails that are often longer than their head and body length. They're also prehensile, meaning that they can grab onto and support their weight, like on branches and things when they're climbing. They both have reddish-orange fur covering their entire body. On the dorsal surfaces, which is the back, it's usually lighter, and the ventral surfaces, the belly, it's usually darker. The face, however, does not have any fur. It's usually hairless and blue-black, as are the bottoms of the hands and feet. The characteristic sign of a red howler monkey is the large hyoid bone. It's significantly larger in males than in females, which is another example of their sexual dimorphism. When we look at their diet, we can see that they're primarily frugivorous and folivorous, meaning they only eat fruit and leaves. They mainly prefer palm fruit, as is shown in the left picture here. And they like fruit pulp as well. When you look at the leaves, they prefer young leaves versus mature ones. They also supplement their diet with roots, flowers, seeds, berries, bark, and other plant material. When looking at the social organization, we can see that they have a troop size of 6 to 10 individuals, but can be as large as 16 or as small as 4. The troops are usually larger in semi-deciduous habitats versus the evergreen habitats, and they usually have one dominant male with multiple females. Sometimes there may be one or two subordinate males present, but there's always that one alpha male, and he's the only one who can reproduce if there are other males present, and he will fight the other males for his status. If another male does take over, or if outsiders come in, infanticide is common, but if the infants do reach it to maturity, both sexes will disperse from their natal group. The females usually go and join another troop, while the males look to displace another leader and take over a troop. When we look to their communication, we see that vocalization is very important. They use their howls morning and evening to warn off outsiders, and they use like barks and things like that to play when they're playing and feeding to bond with the group. For conservation, we can see that the IUCN Red List has listed them as least concern, which is great because a lot of primates have been listed as endangered recently. However, the population is declining. The threats they face is habitat loss, hunting, and pollution, which are all human caused. However, they do face some natural threats like parasites. A couple of fun facts for you guys. They have the largest hyoid bone among the howler monkeys. It acts as a resonating chamber so that their howls can be heard as far as 2 kilometers or 1.2 miles away. They have also been seen eating and licking clay in the Colombian Amazon. We don't know why they do this, but there's 2 hypotheses. One being that they do it to get necessary minerals for their diet, and the other being that they do it to digest the toxins from certain leaves that they eat, because the clay does this when it's absorbed. And here are my sources. Thank you guys for listening.